Hi, my name is David Hillner. I'll be presenting you with research conducted by Lisa Fixenbaum. The research is analyzing hotels located in Beijing, China, and the workers who work in those hotels and the effect that the work has on themselves. I'll start with presenting you with the research question, then we'll go over the research expectations. Following that will be the data source. Then I will show statistical methodology used in this research, and then we'll go over the results. This study is important because if we realize what hard work does to the individual, we can eventually understand how we can work without it being a threat to our lives. The questions researchers ask are, what effects do work intensity and work hours have on work engagement, work outcomes, and the psychological well-being? In my report, I will focus on the latter two, work outcomes and psychological well-being. The article does not specify any expectations the research has, but from reading previous research done in other articles that were talked about in this article, we can expect a few different things. I speculate that they would expect that the work would have a positive correlation on both career satisfaction and job stress, which are work outcome components. Also, we can speculate that they would expect to have a positive correlation on the psychosomatic symptoms and life satisfaction, which is one unwanted and one wanted psychological component. So we can expect to see a positive correlation between both work and psychosomatic symptoms, as well as work and life satisfaction. Okay, so where did we get all this data from? The researchers surveyed 19 Beijing hotels and surveyed a total of 309 people. The people that they surveyed were all middle management and above. And this is a convenience sample of the population. In this study that measures correlation, we have two independent variables. The first is work intensity divided by work hours. The second is work intensity multiplied by work hours. The work intensity is measured by a 15-item Likert scale survey, each one on a 1 to 5 scale, with various items, and they added all of them up. And the average score was a 41 out of a possible 75. Minimum 15, so it's actually pretty moderate, and the 41 has a standard deviation of 11. The average amount of hours per week was 48.8, and that had a standard deviation of 12.05. In this correlated regression research, we have two categories of dependent variables. One is work engagement, the other is psychological well-being. In the work engagement category, we have both career satisfaction as well as job stress. In psychological well-being, we have life satisfaction, which would contain items such as, I am satisfied with my life. The other is the psychosomatic symptoms, which contain 19 items, in which the respondents indicated how often they experienced each physical symptom. The most common ones were headaches and having trouble getting to sleep. Unfortunately, the article didn't contain any data concerning the dependent variables. The statistical methodology used in this study was regressional analysis. It was used to find the correlation between the independent variables, work intensity divided by work hours, and the dependent variables, career satisfaction, job stress, life satisfaction, and the psychosomatic symptoms. It was also used to find the correlation between the other independent variable, work intensity multiplied by work hours, and the dependent variables just mentioned. This is the best technique to use in this kind of study because regressional analysis best examines the correlation between an independent and a dependent variable. The results of the regression do show that all of the correlations were positive, which we did expect. As we can see here on the work engagement, the table here shows that the career satisfaction correlation was positive, but it's actually the lowest positive correlation in this study, whereas job stress was a little bit higher. The n equals 246 and the n equals 245 is just the amount of people who answered each one of these questions concerning satisfaction and job stress. The psychological dependent variables were much higher correlated than the work engagement dependent variables. The psychosomatic symptoms, as you can see here, had a direct correlation to the work intensity and work hours, as well as the life satisfaction did, which is interesting because the career satisfaction was not very high. So we can see that the results show that our expectations were correct. There were positive correlations between the work and the work outcomes, as well as positive correlation between work and the two psychological factors, the life satisfaction and the psychosomatic syndromes. To conclude, I went over the research question, the research expectations, the data source, the statistical methodology, and the results. I believe this research was helpful to analyze the effects of work, but I think it could have been better. It could have been more beneficial if they looked at other areas of work, as well as just different businesses. They only focused on the hotel business. To more accurately do this study, I would include other businesses as well as other lines of work. Thank you very much.